Shout out to US ARC and all US ARC members. If you don't know what US ARC is, don't be ashamed. Just go ahead and click the third link in the description below. See what US ARC is all about, okay? You never know when legislations are going to hit your backyard, so that's why it's very important to consider becoming a US ARC member today. These numbers really do matter, and they look at it for consideration when it comes to battling legislation. So first and foremost, thank you, Phil Goss. Thank you to anybody out there who partners up and volunteers with US ARC organization. Thank you for anyone out there who's a US ARC member. And if you can't become a US ARC member today, please talk about it on your platforms. Let your neighbors know, let all your pet stores know what US ARC is here for, and it's here to fight for our animal rights. Thank you to every US ARC member and US ARC supporter out there.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world. Episode 689. New breed on the block recap. Return of Herbert. HB Reptiles, my dog. Bringing mad love and respect to Ultramil tonight. No choice, because Herbert, that's what he rolls with. And I'm your boy MJ. What is good? Happy Monday. If it's your first time tapping in, and if you're enjoying what you're hearing tonight, please simply just hit that subscribe button. Help me grow this channel organically, and hit that notification bell. Select all. You'll be reminded every podcast release. I have the network 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Of course, with me always the truth, Biggie, Top G, Villarino Reptiles in the building.
October, baby.
Damn, here we go. I love October, mainly because Dodgers, they're always in the playoffs, kicking the Phillies' ass right now. But yeah, October, here we are, bro. You're just at the end of your season right now, from what I know.
Bro, I got a clutch today. I'm waiting on one more.
That's it.
Insane. Like, so late. Now I'm feeding everything, going hard. Put all my pairings into clutch this weekend. That's it, bro. It's time. We're going again,
Yeah, it's crazy how it's like not much time to like sit down and breathe. It's kind of establish and get ready quickly for next year, that quick.
100%. Crazy.
Are you happy that you didn't get everything you were expecting to hit this year because it kind of gave you a little bit of room? Or no, you're mad? Not mad, but a little
mad, but I mean, there's a few things that didn't go that hurt me a little bit, but it's all good. At the end of the day, we got to do what we got, and that's it.
I hate saying this because I'm coming off such a great year, but I always feel like whenever you're at your like little, not a down, but if you have a year you're not too happy about, normally that next year, bro, comes fucking tenfold. And I'm pretty sure that's like on the path you're on 110%.
Yeah. Every year that I have a down year, let's say, which is rare. Yeah. The next year it's been bonkers. So
right.
Yeah, excited. That's all I can say.
Excited for the return of Herbert tonight. HB Reptiles, my guy, man. Dude, he came in through that era of motherfuckers who are just dropping left and right at this point now, and he's in here tough as shit. I'll never forget, I think the second year he became a supporter of mine, he was already vending at Tinley, and I was like, damn, buddy. Like, first and foremost, like vending any show, even for me, I get that little bit of butterfly excited feeling, but a Tinley must feel fucking like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And so I gave my respect to this guy years back when he had his first Tinley, because I know, like, dude, that's first and foremost not easy to get into, but respect, you're in, and he's still there, bro. I'm pretty sure he's going to be at Tinley this year, coming up this weekend. Which wish you were going this weekend. It would have been cool to walk around with you. But NARBC Tinley, guys, I'll be there this week. It's going down. So shout out to Bob Ashley and Brian Potter and MORPH Market, who's sponsoring NARBC Tinley. Fucking cannot wait. So many big things popping, man. But what do you know about the homie Herbert, dude? Give me some.
Honestly, not much. And don't ask me how. I mean, we didn't even follow each other to keep it real. For some
Oh, wow.
reason,
Herbert's
So
gangster, bro.
we don't know each other. I've been seeing Ultramel here and there with him. People call him the Ultramel King. I want to get to know him. He's a super nice guy, I've heard. And I keep it 100. I mean, I've never spoken to him till this week.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time I'm hearing about this Ultramel King shit, but I know that's gonna get into some people's pants for sure. Because we got other motherfuckers out there who are very proud about their Ultramel. And but listen, Herbert's been down for Ultramel from the get-go. Even when I would have Monarch episodes, he would be like in my DMs, like, nah, man, sorry, it's Ultramel, dude. And so God bless him. But either way, his projects are gonna be exciting to talk about tonight because this is gonna be a good episode on what happens when you just keep your head down and believe in your work and you just fucking grind. That's Herbert, dude. He's been grinding. So shout out to everyone in the chats, man. Just a reminder to all you guys, again, Trap Talk is the only reptile network that is 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Get your reptile fix, man. If you want to learn about all species of the reptiles that you can keep in this hobby, then make sure you're subscribed to this network. And also just to remind you guys, you can listen to all these episodes on all major audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, all the major ones, man. So thank you for all the love and support. Really means a lot. If you're looking for exclusive content, you want to get more behind the scenes, especially what I have going on this year with all breeding stuff that I'm getting prepared for, chondro waitlist, emerald tree boa stuff, then come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. Click the very first link in the description below. As soon as you do that, get connected to a Discord and an epic Instagram group chat. Shout out to my trappers, man. You guys are my heart. Shout out to tonight's sponsor, one of them being Clutch, #1 ball python organization app in the game. As Amelia was saying, very exciting to see what he has going on due to the fact that he's inputting all his Clutch information, project information to Clutch. I think it's very crucial when it comes to having amazing projects looking organized and cutting edge. Best way to do that is by using Clutch. So thank you so much, Sebastian, Justin, Summer, the entire Clutch team down in South Africa, doing big, big things, man. So please go check them out on Instagram. Also, go to their website, try them free for 30 days. Thank you so much again for anyone out there who supports Clutch. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by RGI, Rare Genetic Inc. If you got ball python sheds, please turn them in with the best. And that's Ben and Sean over at Rare Genetic Inc. Dr. Ben, excuse me. But thank you so much, guys. Looking forward to linking up with all these guys here at Tinley here very shortly. Again, a lot of big things happening this week. And then also tonight's episode is brought to you by Gary Scavino over at GS Reptiles. Please head over to GS Reptiles on Instagram and YouTube. Subscribe. See what he has available on MORPH markets. One of the best student in the game. One of my favorites. And I will be linking up with Gary, Bill, just a few names off the top of my head this weekend. So you'll be able to meet some fucking heavy hitters in the chondro game this weekend at Tinley. So if you are going, please let me know. Let's link up. And Big E, you ready to bring on Herbert or what, dog?
Do it, bro.
All right, man. Again, I'm excited for tonight, the return of Herbert. HB Reptiles coming at you. This is the recap episode, New Breed on the Block, episode 689. Let's go. Choo.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Tell me.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crowd, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it.
And we are live, episode 689. Welcome back, the Ultramel King. Holy shit. What a name.
Ultramel King. Man, I got to go load my guns and get out of here because there's already hits on me. I know it. Emilio, you're going to kill me, bro.
Hey,
Bro, you're that
what's up, bro? Nice to meet you. Let me start off by fixing that real quick. Bro, who is that person you look at as the top dog with Ultramel? I don't think there is one person, right?
There's a few up and coming. I mean, Marshall Mendez has always been known as the Ultramel Clown King. So props to him. I mean, without him, I wouldn't be in the game initially. I got my first Ultramel Clown project animals from him. So that was my inspiration.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is as deep project-wise with Ultramel for as long as they have like Marshall. I would have to give it to Marshall. I think he's the GOAT. I think he's the Ultramel GOAT.
He was doing it before anyone was really doing it.
2010.
Right?
2010, he got his first one. 2000.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And he went the long route, just as he should. You know what I mean? And what's crazy is like, and again, not to take this away from any Ultramel stock out there. I think it's all beautiful. I really do. Gotta be careful with it, just like anything else. But I will tell you this: any kind of amazing stock I've seen Ultramel wise leads to fucking Marshall somehow, from what I've seen.
Yeah. One more thing. It took, again, this is my opinion. It took guts for Marshall to get into Ultramel.
Yeah.
Early, because I stayed away from it because of thinking that it might be connected to caramel and there could be potential kinking. So I wish I didn't do that now, obviously. So, yeah.
Well, all right, let's give you your moment here, Herbert. Like, how did Ultramel enter your project? Like, how did it enter? And for the record, why don't you tell me again, even though I feel like you've already said this multiple times, but the first year you came in as HB Reptiles. I'm pretty sure that was 2020 from what I remember.
I started in 2017, that 2017 to 2018 era. But I didn't officially become HB Reptiles, I think, until 2019 or 2020. I just hadn't decided on a name, and I wasn't doing anything anyways that I needed to have a name before, that 2019 to 2020 timeframe.
Yeah. So basically HB Reptiles, once you became HB Reptiles, were you already kind of investing on the heavy side of things, or that's when you kind of really started like getting into Ultramel? Like, where were you at in your collection when you became HB Reptiles?
Not really high-end stuff at all. A lot of Codom stuff and not very many recessives. It was around that 2020 era when I started to rotate out a lot of my heavy Codom males and females and introducing recessives into my projects. And that's when I got my first set of Ultramel Clown stock from Marshall, was in 2020.
And you bought hets at first, or like, how did you buy into the Ultramel project? What was your choice of routes on this?
So the first animal I bought from him was a female normal double het Ultramel Clown.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't know is that later on she would prove to be het caramel. And then I talked to Marshall. That was like in the spring of 2020. And I talked to Marshall and said, hey, like, I want to go further in this project. What do you have coming later this season, that I can get in on now? And so he said that he had a couple Ultramel Clown pairings later on in the season. And, he would get back to me when he had some animals available. And he did. And so I ended up picking up a male pastel Ultramel het clown and a pastel double het Ultramel clown. And those two animals ended up both proving to be het pied, which led me to make the first Ultramel clown pied just a couple weeks before Ozzy and Gravy did.
Wow.
And
epic.
Also, that male ended up proving het caramel. And I bred him to that normal double het female I had gotten earlier in that year. And that's how I found out that I had caramel in my collection. And so now some of my Ultramel projects are potentially het caramel.
I mean, I'm no offense, but are you kind of doing yourself a disservice by saying that right now? Because isn't that something isn't that a project not sought after at this point?
It's not, but I also believe in transparency and being honest. I've said since the beginning that I've had caramel in certain Ultramel projects, and when I sell them, I list them that way. If they were from that original stock, I'll say that they're 50% het caramel. And I've talked about it publicly before, so it's not a secret, that I have had all het caramel stuff potentially in some of my animals. I actually just produced last year, 2 years ago, I produced a Ultramel pied het clown, and I ended up buying a few female known het caramels so that I could pair them together to try to see if I would hit caramel, so then I could prove them not to be caramel, essentially. And unfortunately, I hit a Ultramel caramel, or not Ultramel caramel, a caramel pied this year, and it just shed out today. So my Ultramel pied het clown male is also a het caramel.
So what's that? What's that caramel pie look like? Is it okay, or is it all fucked up?
It's actually perfect. Not a single kink on it whatsoever. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'll sell it as a pet.
They are fucking gorgeous. Like,
yeah.
I remember back in the day, bro, my first Daytona, I left that Daytona with that thing burned in my head. Like, it's such a beautiful animal, Yeah.
Somebody can't remember. Somebody just posted something that they hit caramel in the mix. God, who was it? But I was thinking,
it's been popping up in DG as well. I know several people that have had caramel pop up in their DG stuff.
But I mean, is that something where, like, it hasn't really been worked with enough to see if this whole kink thing is a permanent factor in this project, or like, is it just like, we've already seen enough proof, just fucking steer away from it?
I think there's enough proof. The very first caramel that I hit was kinked. About halfway down its body, it had a pretty severe kink, and I never could get it to eat, and it ended up dying. I hatched another one 2 years ago, and she did phenomenal. I kept her until she was about 1,000 grams, and then I sold her as a pet to somebody, and she did great.
Wow.
So I think it's just hit or miss. Supposedly, I forget who it is. It might have been Dave Palumbo from down in Florida. I think he is working with a line of caramel that he says doesn't have kinking issues. So I don't know. I didn't know there were multiple lines of caramel, but maybe there is.
I see some of that guy's pictures before. Super suspect. I wouldn't really fucking trust much for what that guy says. No offense. He just he just kind of came off of too many red flags to me from the years I've noticed some of his work. So, but God bless. Who knows? You never know.
Hey,
go ahead.
Also, the females. I remember one documented female laying. Is that right?
Probably.
Yeah.
One documented female, the caramel gene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they are known to get egg bound.
So the first Ultramel combo you hit had pied in it, or was it a clown?
Let me see. The first. I'm trying to remember.
Double recessive, I meant. Double recessive Ultramel.
Yeah, it might have been the very first clutch of Ultramel clown stuff that I hatched was the Ultramel clown pie.
What year was that?
That would have been 22. Actually, I can look right at it. Yeah, 22.
Nice. And what did you
I cut that just before I went to Tinley.
Nice.
And I was like, man, I don't know what is in this egg. And then I got back from Tinley and it had crawled out. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that is an Ultramel clown pied. And I got right a hold of Marshall, and he's like, I think that's an Ultramel clown pied. And I'm like, did you have pied in your Ultramel stuff? And he was like, yeah. It's like, I had a female that was a Pos het pied from a couple generations ago, and I never even thought about the Pos het pied, and I didn't carry that on. And apparently she was het pied and was just passing it on to random animals. And I just so happened to get 2 animals from that clutch that were both het pied.
That's crazy. Why do you think that is, Emilio? Like, why do you think pied wouldn't be something that wouldn't be remembered they have when they sell it? I can understand hypo, right? Because people weren't trying to say they had hypo, and I remember that was the case. But what would you think the whole reason is behind this with pied would be? Like, why?
you got to understand at one point, everyone was trying to hit pies and make pies. So
a bunch of heads, pos heads.
you know, and at the end of the day,
Wow.
back then and still some of us today, we take advantage of our animals, meaning that we don't move on from our animals, right? So yeah, man, there's definitely, you know, head DG stuff out there, head pie stuff, head hypo, head clown. I mean, I'm not surprised when something hits. You know, you shouldn't be surprised, you know, fully. You know, I mean, what do you think, Herbert? I mean, you weren't super surprised, were you?
Yeah, I was definitely surprised. You know, with back then, you know, that was before shed testing. I mean, we didn't even have, you know, clown tests back then.
Yeah.
You know, so you have an animal, especially a female, that's just pos het pied, and it's very easy to just be like, well, she's probably not going to prove, and I'm not going to put the effort into trying to prove her. So you just kind of forget about it. You know, you don't even throw it on the label as being pos het, and then you just produce multiple clutches with her and don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Herbert, are you made of money? Like, are you balling? Like, are you fucking got a couple Ferraris in your driveway? What's your financial situation right now? I'm just curious.
I've only got one Ferrari, 2 Lamborghinis.
What I'm trying to get at is, like, I think you value the money you put into this game, and I feel like you haven't been with some of these people have been doing. I feel like when they're not as knowledgeable behind investing on morphs, you know, like, I feel like you put a lot of thought into what you're going to be spending money on when it comes to a project. So what are you looking for? Like, you know, maybe if you're not even doing it now, but if it came into you looking at a new project, like, what is it that's appealing to you? Like, what is it that makes you feel comfortable, first and foremost, buying into something that you believe in, but it's a high dollar value? You know what I mean?
So that's tough. I mean, so you have to break it down to, is it an incomplete dominant gene or is it recessive? Because you have to look at those as 2 completely separate animals. You know, an incomplete dominant could be $20,000 today, and then in next year it could be a $3,000 animal. You know, if it gets overproduced, especially people buying males and they're putting them to 12 females, you know, and the way that the market is right now, like the price will just get driven down very quickly. Recessives obviously are more sustainable, and you can add incomplete dominance to them to keep that price staying up, you know, for a longer period of time. You know, you can add a second recessive, and then you can add, you know, 3 incomplete dominants to it, and that'll help keep the price alive. I kind of dealt with that a little bit when I got into Stranger. Stranger had come down to a point where it was affordable to an investment level that wasn't, you know, $40,000. And I ended up buying a yearling from Justin for $16,000, and that was back in 21, I think. And I was able to use him that year because he was already about 550 grams. So got a handful of meals into him, got him up to about 800 grams, used him that season. And then already by that next season, Stranger prices were down to $5,000-$6,000 for Stranger heads. So, I mean, that was a huge drop in value. So I learned that lesson early on with a very expensive purchase, and now I'm way more cautious when I'm investing in something. I think about it as far as, okay, next year this animal is going to be worth less, and then the year after it's going to be less. So what can I do to this project? You know, what can I do with this one gene so that I can maintain its value? And that was one thing that I didn't do when I had the Stranger, the first Stranger. I was new into investment level animals, and I thought that the market was going to sustain that price for at least a little while longer than it did. And so I bred that male to a bunch of random females, couple het clowns. I bred him to a straight pastel female, no recessives whatsoever. And I mean, I made my money back. So, I mean, I can't say that I went negative, but I could have been further ahead in the Stranger project if I had done more intelligent pairings, for sure.
And you know what? That's like, dude, you hit some that are just out of the park in this game, right? And it's like, holy, and I'm sure you've done, like, look what you did with the Ultra Male Clown Pie. Like, holy shit, like, that's a reward right there. Definitely at that time. But there's also moments like the Stranger situation, which, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I looked at Stranger for a long time, and I just never had that demeanor to drop that much money in the ball python game, just because I was so crazy with chondros, and I'd rather be crazy on that end than anything else. And so, but I loved Stranger. Like, I like dark stuff. I love the shit Levance was showing, Mark Bailey was showing me, and I'm just like, I was really bought into Stranger, but I just was not bought in on how much it was. And what was crazy is when I finally got to where I was to just say fuck it and get some Stranger, that's like the same year it went down. Like, and it was like an overnight thing, dude. It was pretty crazy to see. I'm not gonna say I didn't drop no 16K. That's wild, bro. Is that the biggest purchase you've ever made, 16K or no?
Yep.
Respect. Whew, God, man, here's my heart rate going, you know, because I felt like I dropped some cheese in the Chondro and Emerald game, but 16K, bro. But mind you, that, like you said, there was a game plan. You knew you could get that thing up in size, but here's the thing: you don't know. That's what's crazy. Like,
you don't know. It may not breed its first season, even if you do have it up to size.
It may not eat. It may be like, you know what? I want to die. I don't want to be here no more. Like, there's a lot of things. That's why also you should be happy that you got your money back, which I feel like. Here's a beautiful thing, guys. I think anyone should pay attention to this. I think at worst case scenario, if you are working a project right, you will make your money back. Okay. That's like bare minimum. If you just, you know, okay, if it doesn't go your way, you're going to at least make your money back in such a project that you choose, like Stranger, no matter how much it drops, because it dropped a lot. And mind you, you spent a lot of money. Like, you're spending more than the average person would spend on one project. You know what I mean? But you had hopes to knocking the shit out of the park. Like, you know, like you could have, you know what I mean? People made out in Stranger. Like, there was obviously, I mean, look how high priced Stranger was for so long. And then again, like I said, it's like someone fucking just turned the lights off and it was like, whoop, it just dropped. But it's still fucking definitely a project well working for sure. I love Stranger. And the thing is, it's like you look at Stranger, and if you do like dark stuff, there's no question. You know what Stranger looks like in a single form. You know what it looks like in other, like, it's not hard to ID Stranger in most of this shit. You know what I mean? But would you spend money on something you're troubling IDing in a single form, Herbert? Like, like, let's say Stranger just was like, it looked like a normal. You know what I mean? Or something like, well, how would you be so invested in such a project if you really couldn't visually see what you were buying?
No, not at all.
No question, right?
No,
because I think we use our eyes to buy. I think, right?
For sure, we should be.
We should be, and we all know how recessive work, right? We all know that there's proven cases, but it shouldn't be that hard to singly ID a morph. You would think, right?
Yep.
If you gotta sit up here and do video after video explaining that, you know, this is it, this is that, this is that, this is this, bro, it's pretty bad. I mean,
with shed testing available, like, why? Like, what's the problem?
You gotta try so hard to make people see something that hasn't proven to be there. I mean, you know, I don't know, man. It didn't get me, I'll tell you that. And what I'm gonna say this, and this is pretty factual, okay? Since you know, everyone's saying, oh, there's no facts behind what we're saying or what others are saying, right? Most people getting into the gene we're talking about are new. So meaning they don't have the trained eye. All right, that's a problem.
Yeah, they're being told what to buy.
If people with a trained eye are telling you to proceed with caution, you should listen. Period. It's not about hating anything. It's about telling people to be careful. That's all.
Yeah,
part of the stigma ball python community is the know-it-alls. Fucking, like, people who are just a couple years in, they figured it all out. They know more than a 30-plus year veteran all of a sudden, which is crazy. But
many of them, by the way.
Multiple, which is wild to me. And, like, this is a hobby, bro, where there's so many successful people enough to follow and listen to where, dude, you won't go wrong. You know what I mean? But then again, it's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like almost finding good help is an art. Like you have to be good at it because some people are either so treated well where they've never been treated. They just listen to whatever they're being told. They don't give a fuck. And they're so bought in. I met some people where they know they've been lied to, but they don't care. They're still cool with the person. Like they don't care. And I'm like, okay, like God bless. You know what I mean? If that's, but for me, I'm just like, this is a business to me. Like, look, trust me, it's a hobby. I love it. But I can't, if I don't make money, I can't do this. I can't continue to have the job I have if I'm not making money. So I take this very serious because I don't ever want to go back and fucking hate my life. I'm not a 9-to-5 guy ever. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, when it comes to such a project that has such a crazy high value to it, it shouldn't be that difficult to ID first and foremost, but it shouldn't be that complex. Nothing should be this complex, I don't think. You know, if it is that complex, guess what? There's a solution. It's called shed testing. Why are we against shed testing? Go ahead.
Before I let Herbert answer, well, you know, and reflect on what we're talking about, I want to bring up ethics, right?
Yeah.
Integrity. We started off this podcast with Herbert saying nice and clear. Oh, I had caramel, you know, in my stuff.
Yeah. Transparent.
Transparency. We need to be ethical. Why? Because for a little extra money, right? This year and last year, you might be risking it all, brother.
Yeah.
Okay? Because people don't forget, and we're not going to forget. So all we're saying is be ethical. You know, don't say, oh, I thought it was that. That's not good enough these days, bro. Especially with shed testing, that's not good enough. So,
because guess what? If you are proven not to be legit, it doesn't take much for you not to be for you to just kind of get like not, you know, I don't want to say because almost the biggest piece of shits can still sell snakes in this game, but it's not good. I'll tell you that much. We all seen what insane thieves do in this game. They're not really welcomed after that, and also you're spotted everywhere. So it's like, I don't know. At the end of the day, transparency is, I feel like that's where we're at today nowadays. Like, dude, the more you hide something, not that they are, I'm just saying in general, the more you're not kind of being clear about something, the worse it is once it becomes clear. Once the fucking smoke settles, you know, smoke and mirrors, you know, once all that shit chills out, damn, I don't know. Oh, again, like I said, this could all be taken care of with shed testing. So it's that simple. That comes out, like, listen, the end of the day, if shed testing comes out and you show that Scrambler is its own morph, I will make an apology episode. I will literally and I will give up. I will clap. I would be so happy. I would literally be happy for Scrambler because I'm like, yes, finally, dude, go for it. Go for the moon. Fuck yeah. Make more of it. Now that we know, you know.
Same
Man,
here.
I'm glad you said we were talking about Scrambler because I thought you were talking about Ultramount.
No.
Nah, look, straight up. I'll get into the project if I see there's validity to it. I think the price will go up. I think more people will get into the project. You know, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Period.
That's it. It'd be so easy. That's what I'm saying. Like, I guarantee Justin would get on board. Like, mad people would get on board with that because, you know, from what I'm seeing on these crazy videos, it does look something like it looks like it's a beautiful animal. Like, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, what a fucking ugly project. No, I just want to know what it is. Is it a line or is it its own morph? That's it. We can move on. Let's move on with our life. That's it. That way, when we bring it up on this show, the coolest reptile network in the world, it's not like, suspect topic. You know, like if it's a suspect topic, we're gonna address it. Simple as that. If fucking six months, yeah. By the way, we have football flags coming. We're gonna be throwing yellow flags, we're gonna be throwing red flags. All right, we're gonna have timeout for people, bro. Yes, because there's just too many penalties going on in this game, bro. And if we see a penalty on this show, we're fucking throwing a flag, bro, and we're gonna break it all down. That's it. Sorry, you know what I mean? And if there's something, hold on. If there's something that you guys could find challenging for us, dude, open invitation to this Monday night. If you could really bring a good argument with Scrambler, if you could bring a good argument with anything that we're against, dude, please come on this show. And we'll hug afterwards. It's all love and it's all learning. Like, we just want to get better at this, right? But god damn it, dude. I mean, the writing's on the fucking wall, and I know how to read. I'm not one of these people who can't read. I could read. So there's that. Go ahead, Emilio. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah. We Herbert, let's go.
What are you saying to Herbert?
What's the question?
Nah, man. Oh, listen.
Hey, that's a good topic. Hold on, bro. The Han situation. What do you think about the Han situation?
Oh man, I just saw that. I don't know, a day or two ago. I don't know a whole lot about it. I only saw the screenshots that were being posted on Instagram.
But we obviously, like, I feel like there's not 100% proof yet. But like, again, if we find out that this hurricane thing was made in Europe, duplicated in Europe, and it originated from Trick, which again, writing's on the fucking wall here. What do we do? I mean, I guess it's too late to do anything about it at this point, right?
Oh, I thought that was a known thing.
And not to everyone, obviously, because if that was a known thing, why would you be so proud about representing it? Like, I'm not in I have a couple hurricane stuff, right? But I'm not, like, where do we find things that are legit and that aren't legit? Where do we draw the line here? I don't know. And if we don't,
I think you can give Han credit for taking a gene and doing the work and line breeding it to where it is now, because there's no denying that the hurricanes that come from Han are absolutely amazing. The quality is beyond most other hurricanes or Trick or Blitzes, that you're going to see on MORPH Market.
Yeah.
But renaming the gene probably wasn't the smartest move. If it was a Trick or whatever, Trick or a Blitz that it came from, it should just be, Hans Line Trick or Hans Line Blitz or something like that. Well, I see no issue with that, but totally renaming it, that might be a little underhanded.
Well, I mean, I saw the look on Dale Richards' face when he was on this show and he talked about this. He's kind of like, fuck that. Like, and like, he's standing down on, and he should, because he got into Trick, I don't know how many years back, but again, if that was me, dude, and that was my money, and then I see some dude named Hans Wiener, whatever the fuck his last name is, go and like rename that shit, I would not let that go. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't let it go. I would be very salty for sure.
Let me put my 2 cents in on this split thing. While I don't know enough, I do know that hurricanes are super cheap now, and homeboys gotta be hurting over there. Damn, what a coincidence that now there's a fucking other gene in it that trying to market that. Bro, I know people have produced a ton of hurricanes and they don't believe in that. So I don't know, bro. It could be variation, natural variation. I produce a bunch of Xanthic clowns. Some of them are brighter, some of them are busier. Some of them are fucking A+++. Some of them are A+. Guys, what the fuck?
Trick's on you, pal.
Let's come up with something new so I can sell animals from Germany, because no one's gonna buy a $200 animal anymore. Well, bro, take care of that customer that bought the 150 snakes from you. Take care of them.
Right.
Mr. Miss Ideen, please. Thank you.
And again, dude, there's a lot of money that goes into this hobby, bro. Like, still to this day, it's being fed day after day. Motherfuckers are dropping big money. So we clean it up a little bit, or at least like fucking crack whips when whips need to be cracked, because this whole like scam of shit, bro, is not fucking cool. Like, it's bullshit, and nobody really talks about it. We're the only ones, me and Emilio. We're the only ones that call this shit out. And again, some people are going to be offended. I would too, if I was fucking that vested into shit, saying I have an $11,000 fucking animal I just produced. Lies, cap, not 11K. Sorry. I've seen $11,000 animal. That's not it, pal. Okay. So I'm just saying, dude, they're just, again, and then also us, we got to use our own eyes. We got to use our own judgment, which is crazy. And I feel like that can only get better with time. When you're in this hobby, you start seeing some things that you're like, oh, wow, I don't see it the same as I used to anymore, because, again, the smoke starts to clear. You kind of like, it depends who you speak to and who you're being mentored by when you first come in, because you're more likely just going to listen to them. And hopefully it's a good one and not somebody who's telling you just listen to them and, put you down some rabbit holes, because when you go down the rabbit holes, that's when you're wasting time.
Herbert, can I get one more dick comment in?
Sure.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. No, meaning I'm going to be a dick one more time.
I don't know about one more time, but go ahead.
All right, so rookies, when you hear someone talk like this, it's because I've seen a million of you, and I've seen a million people say, "Oh, this is new. Oh, I got a new thing." Oh, even someone as accomplished as the guy in Germany, okay, sold 2 mis-ID'd snakes that are super easy to ID. Okay, so people that are selling snakes that are super easy to ID, mis-IDing them, are you really gonna listen to them saying they have a new gene connected to a gene that's been sold for 10 years? Like,
you only get so many red flags. I feel like. I mean, if I'm sorry, you just do. Like, and like, I feel like you can't. It's not like you can't make it up from a red flag. But bro, who's gonna own up to their fuck ups like this? You think Hans is gonna write a statement saying, "You know what? I did jack fucking this gene from Florida, brought it here, made it better, and I named it fucking her." He's never gonna fucking do that, bro. Like, he's just blocking people. He's trying to collect his PayPal inquiries and just fucking block fools. You know what I mean? Which is also like, guys, like, it's that easy too for these motherfuckers just to try to disappear on you. So if there's anyone that you're invested in, and like, because some of these people have long-term deals with these breeders, like they like pay me X amount and I'll keep giving you snakes for like X amount of times. They're like, there's like little deals that we don't know people make that are like long-term that could just be gone just like that. When someone like Hans or whoever the fuck is trying to pull some fast ones, because humans are humans, bro. Humans are a piece of shit. So humans will fucking pull fast ones left and right. Doesn't matter. Especially if they're in a dilemma with money. We've seen it multiple times, bro. Some of these people get into a bad money situation and they do something wild. Okay? Wild. Some of them are still around, but I've seen some wild shit. You know what I mean? So wild text.
Some of them are selling their collections because of their errors.
So
screwing
like,
over people.
And mind you, dude, you're just again, God bless whoever's going through anything hard or whatever, but you're better off just not being around like people who are going through shit. You know what I mean? You know, if they have an animal you want and the reasonable price, God bless, do it. But just be careful. Like you gotta be careful out there. It's not as willy-nilly as fucking, oh, cool, he has 100 snakes for sale for this price, I can afford it. You know, like, no, dude, look for red flags everywhere. But the thing is, you gotta want to look for the red flags. You gotta want to like see what it is you're looking for versus just hearing what you like and say, okay, I'm in, you know, because people think they always have like, oh, wow, I got a deal of a lifetime. That's another new rookie mistake, is people feel like they're getting pitched a package deal that nobody's ever gotten pitched before. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, wow, he's going to give me such a deal. And I, you know, cautious on that as well. Beware when you're getting good deals. You know what I'm saying? And do your homework, dude. I don't know. How would you do your homework in 2025, Herbert, going in 2026? Let's say it's your first year. Let's say you're listening to this podcast right now, Herbert. You're on month 3, whatever. How would you do your homework? Like, how would you be like, fuck, I better be on top of this shit? How would you do that nowadays?
I mean, the first thing you should do is join a Patreon, a good one. And maybe that's another problem, is, you know, trying to figure out which Patreon to join. But there's plenty of established breeders out there. Canova's got one. You've got one. Will's got one. Bob's got one. These are staples in the industry. Joining one of those Patreons.
Big E has one. I got to say, Billerino Reptiles has one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. No, you're good. Go join it. But anyways, go ahead. Keep going, Herbert.
I'm sorry. I've been in too many Patreons. I can't join them all.
No, you're good. I just wanted to throw that out there. Big E got one.
Yes, and Emilio's Patreon. And getting into those Discord chats, you know, most of the people that are going to be in there are going to be people that you can trust and build a relationship with, because those people aren't going to last in those Discord groups if they're screwing people over.
Let me add something to this really quick.
Yep.
I advocate for people to join a couple, maybe even up to 3. Why? Because with the amount of money people are dishing out, you know, without knowing what the fuck they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bro, they should be in these Patreons, okay? Yeah. You know, learning from a little bit from everyone, taking something from this guy, taking something from this guy, comparing the message here, comparing the message there, right? period, bro. Like, you shouldn't have 100 snakes in your collection in a year if you don't have any type of guidance whatsoever, bro. That makes no fucking sense. I mean, period, bro. Like, I don't know. I get freaked out when I see people, you know, every day, bam, 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 snake, you know, new box. And when you see what they're getting, you're like, oh my God, this person, man, they need guidance so bad, you know?
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I'll tell you a quick story. Back in December of last year, I had a girl reach out to me. She's down in Florida. She's a cop down in Florida. And she reached out to me and she was like, hey, you know, I'm interested in this one snake you have. I think it was a pastel butter GHI possible hypo thing, something like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you know, is this, you know, part of your breeding project, or, you know, is this just going to be a pet? And she's like, oh, it's just going to be a pet for now. You know, me and my mom were researching, you know, maybe breeding in the future, but, you know, it's just going to be a pet. All right, cool. So I talked to her. It was about a month and a half later, and she reached out to me, and she was looking to buy a few more animals that I had because her and her mom decided that they were going to start breeding on a small scale. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know, what are you looking at? And she told me, you know, a few animals that she wanted. And, you know, we worked out a price and I sent them to her. And I kind of started mentoring her a little bit and giving advice here and there. And I had noticed that after a few weeks, like, she was just going to the hub every single week, picking up animals. And she was talking to this breeder, and getting animals. And I'm like, wait a minute, how many snakes do you have now? And she's like, I have 53.
Huh.
And we're talking at this point, like, probably a 2-month period.
Yeah.
And she was in the middle of doing a deal to buy 9 animals from another guy. And I told her, I said, stop. I said, tell that other guy, like, if there's 1 or 2 animals you really want in that group, get those. I'm like, but you're buying way too many animals. You're already working overtime as a cop. You're going to get so overwhelmed dealing with 50 plus animals. And she wasn't producing her own rodents at the time. So, like, already her food bill was, you know, I don't even know what her food bill was, but couldn't have been cheap.
A lot.
You know, she was still buying from Petco at that time because that she didn't have anybody, you know, a local rodent breeder to get rodents from.
Rodents, bro. That's like $6, $7 a pop, dude.
Yeah, I know. And so I just told her, I'm like, stop. You need to think about what you have. You know, if you want, send me a list of all of the animals that you have so we can work out what makes sense. And you might just need to sell some of the animals that you've gotten because that's way too much. I can't even imagine. My first year, I think I had 20 animals, and I was like, whoa, that's a lot of snakes going from 0 to 20. You know, I can't imagine doing 50 plus animals in less than 2 months.
I legit did that. I can't even talk shit. That was me, but I did it with multiple species. Like, I was I went crazy, and luckily it was during a time where this was before fucking COVID. The market was like, social media was blowing up, and so was the market, luckily. But I learned, dude, trust me, there was a moment where all the fun I was having just became not fun. And then I was so overwhelmed. I remember going back to work after COVID, like, you know, trying to go back to work after COVID or before the whole thing shut down. I can't remember what it was, but I was so overwhelmed, dude. Like, it sucked because normally going home was like my favorite thing to do, to go with the snakes, but it became like dreadful because I had snakes. I just want to fucking take my face off. Like, I knew I wasn't going into like a chill moment, like, you know, having big retics and white lips and scrubs and fucking, God, dude, I don't miss those days. I really don't. But it's that easy to get fucking weighing over your head, dude. And ball pythons, right? That's like, if you got the space for them, you know, you could fill that rack really quick. Like, you know, and mind you, with my OCD, I just wanted my fucking all the tubs filled. I hated having empty tubs. And I'll never forget when I first got my first rack, I was like, I cannot wait to fill them. Like, I was on such a mission to fill them. Whatever it took, I wanted to fill them. And I know that is kind of like an excitement thing coming into the hobby, because you can't believe you're about to have a fucking wall full of snakes, but you are, and it will happen. Just don't buy groups.
Yeah. It's exciting until you realize you have 40 tubs to clean every week.
Yeah. Yeah, see, shout out to Dorian. Dorian, you followed me too back then. Remember when I had the alpacas? Like, I had a whole fucking farm life going at one point, dude. And I loved it. Don't get me wrong. But until I went back to work, all that whole fun shit was like, it wasn't fun. I was fucking really difficult times. But dude, yeah, man, slow down. And I don't know. Like, and what's crazy is like, I can't even tell you, like, if you are getting offered a group price on something and you, all those animals you like, dude, I can't tell you not to do it if that's what you want to do. But mind you, like, there's just questions that need to be asked. There's T's that need to be crossed, I's that need to be dotted when it comes to that. Mainly, I just want to know, like, if like Herbert, if it was you, game on. Like, let's do it. Villarino Reptiles, sure. Like, there's some names where it's like, dude, okay, you know who you're talking to. But if you've never seen the name before, connect the dots. That's all you have to do. Connect the dots with whoever you're talking to. Go ahead, Biggie.
Mad props to breeders like Herbert, myself, MJ, that tell people, hey, put on the brakes.
Yeah.
You know, I know the industry loves those buyers that are just coming in and they just go ape shit. I know that, right? But at the end of the day, man, if you build, you know, I'm not saying that you have to check every customer to see what they're buying and whatnot. Period. No one's doing that. But if we're talking to someone and helping them, right? We have to be honest, man. You have to treat people how you would want to be treated. At the end of the day, man, you got to be a good person. Okay, you can't fill them up with a bunch of shitty animals, bro, or with a bunch of stuff that you're trying to unload, a bunch of stuff that you know that they're destined to fail. You can't do that. If you're doing that, you're a shitty motherfucker.
Well, I mean, we all know karma works in mysterious ways in this hobby. It works very well. So that shit right there, not only will karma come to you, but if somebody knows you deliberately set them up to fail and there's proof, it's 2025, buddy. There's podcasts everywhere, social media is everywhere. You will be exposed. And then if you get exposed to something like that, dude, like, hello, like, motherfuckers will not let that go. People don't let shit go in this movie. I'll tell you that right now. They do and they don't. It depends, you know. But when it comes to the welfare of the hobby and, like, you know, selling fucked up animals, you know, or whatever the case, you know, it's not good.
You know, we're here for the long term, bro. At the end of the day, look, 20 years in this bitch, all right? Nobody can come on and say that I banged them in any way. You know, took advantage of them, misled them, told them, led them the wrong way, period. Nobody. Why? Because I won't do that shit. You know, and I know the same with MJ. I know the same with, you know, Herbert. You know, these guys, I've heard nothing but good things about Herbert. You know, he's here speaking it. I mean, that's how I feel, bro. If this is something I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. All I have is my reputation.
And Herbert, how many stories have you heard about motherfuckers doing other people dirty? Like, I'm sure, because people talk, people tell, like, if they may not be open about it or say it on a show, but they know, you know, how people converse in group chats or even converse face to face. And Herbert, I know growing your brand in this hobby, I know you came across some stories, dude.
That's also another thing that you learn in the Discords too, because people, when they're in a trusted group of guys, you know, they'll say, hey, I got screwed over by this person, you know, watch out for this guy. I bought an animal from them and it was supposed to be het whatever, and it wasn't, you know, they got it shed tested and it wasn't. So it's a good wealth of information in a lot of these Discords.
And you're going to protect.
People may not post that on Instagram, but they'll post it in a group of 100 people.
And you'll protect your money by this as well. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, too, it's like, I don't know, man. We all seen patterns in this hobby, and there are people out there who have a certain pattern of, like, mistakes. And what's unfortunate, like, fuck, dude, you already see people not even 5 years in the game, and their pattern is mis-IDing most of their ads on MORPH Market, which is crazy to me.
And then what do you do? And what defines you at the end is, what do you do when you make a mistake?
Own it.
Fix it. You know,
say I'm wrong. Just say I was wrong. I fucked up.
You know, animals. You could offer credits on banging animals that you have that you're holding back. You could send partial, you know, send the money back. You know, at the end of the day, if you make a mistake and someone buys something and it isn't what they bought, you have to take care of that. Period.
Let me ask you guys a question, okay, on this topic. somebody buys a $5,000 animal from you. Okay, they get the animal, it doesn't eat for them. Would you take that animal back and get it eating for them, or are they on their own? Like, well, what do you? Because I haven't had that situation. I feel like ball pythons are so like pretty fucking like, you know, it is straightforward. You got a good eating ball python, you know, it's gonna eat with you. But we all know some scenarios out there, right? But like, what do you guys do if that animal has not eaten for that person yet? They're very open and communicated to you. They're letting you know. What route do you guys personally take?
You want to go first, Herbert?
Sure. I generally always try to get it eating in their place first, just because having it shipped back to me would potentially just cause it more stress, and then it may not eat after that. So I always just ask the basic questions. You know, what is it in? If this is something that's potentially a pet animal, then I always will ask, you know, what is it in? Is it in an aquarium? Is it in a rack system? What are your temperatures at? Do you have enough hides? You know, all those basic questions. You know, are you keeping it on substrate? Are you keeping it on grass? You know, that felt carpet stuff that you get at Petco. Like, what's the environment like? And then if they absolutely can't get it eating, I don't even know what I would do. Honestly, I haven't had that situation. Every time I've had customers that have had feeding issues, I've always gotten it to eat on their end. And it's usually just some kind of a husbandry issue. It's just one thing that they needed to switch. You know, maybe they were trying rats, and, you know, I said, hey, give it mice. And they give it mice for a couple weeks, and they start eating mice, and then they switch right over to rats. Sometimes it's as simple as that. If it were a $5,000 animal, like you had initially asked, I probably would allow them to send it back, so I can get it eating on my end, because that is a huge amount of money to return to somebody if something goes wrong. If it's
Right.
$150 animal that went on auction, you know, and it ends up dying, I can easily refund $150, and it doesn't hurt the rest of my life, or not the rest of my life, but, you know, it doesn't affect my life. Selling somebody a $5,000 snake and not getting it eating, and then it dies in their care, I have to give them their $5,000 back. You know, at least if it's in, you know, 30-day period, you know, maybe not 8 months later, but, you know,
Go ahead,
but there has
Biggie.
to be communication. There has to be clear communication between the buyer and the seller. And, you know, you can't reach out 5 months in and be like, hey, my snake's not eating, you know, and then it dies 3 days later, and then they want their money back. You know, that's a completely different situation.
Yeah, I feel like you're
There's so
complaining.
many gray areas in this industry, and you have to do what's best at that time, you know, with the information that you have.
Yeah, go ahead, Biggie.
For me, man, whether it's a pet, whether it's an investment animal, whether it's $100 or $5,000, I have a system where I do not send out an animal unless it's feeding in a rhythm that I am fully comfortable with. If any animal that I'm feeding and taking care of and nurturing up to its next home does anything weird, anything that I find like, why they do that? I tag that animal with a question mark to watch it even closer, right? So again, a pet or an investment animal has to be rhythmic in an amazing rhythm of feeding, and I have to trust it to feed. Most of the time, like Herbert said, it's gonna be fine. You know, it's very rare for an animal to just, you know, die on you or stop eating. You know,
Yeah.
What I would say is, you know, an animal that let's say goes over $3,000. If I'm not in a financial situation where I'm comfortable replacing that animal or giving a refund, what I would say to people out there is that maybe you should keep that animal till it's 250 grams. You know, you're protecting yourself more at the end of the day. an animal that dies or stops eating after 250 grams it's mostly rare.
Yeah.
Right, guys? I mean, pretty much.
I would agree.
Well, this is where I'm coming with this, guys. And I just use the not eating as one of many examples. Okay. There could be multiple things. There could be like the snake doesn't look right when you get it out of the bag or whatever the fuck, right? I've had conversations with some people who have spent like, well, this one guy that comes to mind, $23,000 on this one snake. Okay. Which again, that's for me, it's fucking wild, but $23,000 on a snake. Like if I were to sell anything remotely at that level and I send it to somebody and they have just any kind of question about anything within that first fucking 24, 48 hours, or even that first week, I'm going to want that animal back immediately. Like I'm going to be like, because first and foremost, especially the person I'm thinking about doesn't really know what the fuck he's even doing today, like respectfully. So why would I want that animal even longer on that person's hands? You know what I mean? Especially if they're saying something's happening that never happened on your hands, right? And so this individual that I'm talking about, this is just one of many cases, he didn't immediately go to the seller and tell him about the situation. Instead, he kind of like observed it and waited about 2 months. Okay. Which again, if you wait 2 fucking months, to say anything, you're obsolete, dude. Like you
disqualified.
I'm not going to say I'm blocking you, never talking to you. I'll hear what you have to say and I'll try to help you out, but I don't want anything to do with that animal coming back to me ever again, because at this point it has been with you for so long, and what you're telling me now could have happened who knows when over the last 2 fucking months. You know what I mean? And I feel like as a seller, you only have so long to tell me there's something up with the snake, because
Go ahead.
No,
Let me say this. I need to know immediately if there's a problem. I'm with MJ 100%. If you tell me 2 months later, you're disqualified. I'm sorry. Bullshit. Who knows what you did to the animal? You didn't do your due diligence to get things exactly to where they were here. And let me say this, bro. When you buy a $23,000 animal or a $8,000 animal, you are taking a risk that said animal could die tomorrow. Okay, you're not playing. This is not a game. Okay, everyone is taking a risk when you buy a very, very, very high-end animal. Okay, we are risking sending it to you, right? FedEx, Delta Dash, whatever it may be, and we have to guarantee that. Okay, we guarantee what 30. Let's say if you want to be a great guy, you guarantee 30 to 60 days. All right. I bet most people do that. But if you're listening and you're following the instructions of what the breeder is telling you to do. But simply put, if you buy an expensive animal, okay, a high-end animal, you are taking a risk that you have to own, okay? Period. Yeah. That's how I feel about it as well. I mean, at the end of the day, there's not enough of that.
Yeah, and again, like, you know, I mean, I hate to say like the differences in value, but I mean, like Herbert says, I don't have the means to replace that kind of money, you know, especially if I had that money like 2 months ago. You paid me 2 months ago for the snake, you know, and I already like, especially with how I
bought an ultramount.
I just bought another basin. Like, what are you talking about? It's gone. Like, what are you? Sorry, can't help you. But at the end of the day, like somebody who has that kind of money to spend on a snake, like, I don't want them to never be a customer again. But there's also like, here's another thing too, talking to this individual, like I felt like he had buyer remorse, buyer, like he almost regretted his decision because how much money he spent on one snake. And he almost froze, like he froze up, didn't know what to do. And then 2 months later, oh, there's something wrong with the snake. You know what I mean? Because motherfuckers almost think it's like the next day you're making something back off that snake you just got. No, dude, you're going to wait a long time. Like, you spent $23K. See what happens in a year. You know what I mean? Like, that's at minimum, you know, you don't, and it's not even for sure. So mind you, a lot of this shit sinks in after a purchase like that. And they're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And there's plenty, and I'm kind of dealing that with the chondros. Somebody who I told them, like, I had a holdback. And they're like, how much? And I'm like, you're not going to tell me, dude, this is going to be expensive. tell him the price. He agrees to it, starts paying it off, and then guess what? Start to sink in a little bit. It's a lot of money, dude. Yeah, it is. And his wife's all fucking on the bumper. The whole wife thing. Yeah. We all know the excuses that come out of nowhere. Oh, got to go to the vet. My dog needs braces. You know what I mean? I fucking, got who knows? He has a cavity. It's going to cost me $11K. The fuck, bro? These excuses come from left and right field all the fucking time.
Yeah, they do.
An important place where we could take this topic real quick. Guys like Herbert, okay, that have put real money into the shit, bought a $16,000 animal. The animal was 500 grams, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Your comfort level of spending, for myself, a $10,000 animal, okay, 2 years ago. All right. Not that I can't spend more. I can. It's just my comfort level of spending said money. The animal was 250 grams. I've told people straight up on MORPH Market, listen, I'll buy an animal from you, but I need you to get it to 200 grams.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do that, hey, I'll spend my money somewhere else.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's my comfort level.
Yeah.
Of spending that type of money. Period. So
and 250 grams is not a lot, just so you know.
It says something, It says something.
Yeah.
And with that said, there's a certain percentage, I don't know if 1%, a 2% shot where that animal could croak tomorrow. It might be higher. I'm just hypothesizing, right? I last year I lost a $4,000 animal. Just bam, it just died.
Yeah, but hey, how much are the odds on your favor when you're selling that thing at 300 grams, Emilio? Like, pretty well the establishment of this snake once it gets that big. And then if it's a snake that you could sell that expensive, especially if someone buys it straight out the egg, dude, tell them, be patient. Let me get this thing all fucking meaty and beefy and fucking rocking and rolling, and then you can have it. That way it's like, all right, done deal. I showed you.
As long as you do what the breeder tells you to do, right?
Yeah.
You follow what we do, right? You'll be fine.
It's another thing too, man, like self-neglect, like just simply not following instructions sometimes could really cause a lot of these fucking headaches, which again, like, it's part of the game. I made mistakes, but man, just listen to somebody, and I feel like it's such a straightforward thing in this hobby. Like, there's so many, I feel like breeding is the easiest thing right now with ball pythons. Like, you can figure it out. It's not that hard. We all know what the hard thing is right now. Not hard for everybody, but not everyone can sell a snake right now, and so let's kind of get to that topic, Herbert. If somebody right now is growing amazing projects and they're excited about it, but nobody knows who the fuck they are, what route should they take? Like, what's a good way to kind of get, I guess this could lead to what we talked about earlier, Patreon, right? Getting into Patreons because you're showing your work, At least I know with Trap Talk and, with what Emilio has going on, you could show all the work you have going on. But what are some other ways maybe that you could think of, Herbert, of getting your name out there or getting your projects, get some eyes on your projects, being new in the hobby?
Obviously, social media, getting on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok, if that's your thing. But yeah, just posting. I don't even post every day, to try to get eyes on my stuff. I should. But I'll be honest, I hate it. I hate social media. I don't post half as much as I should. But it is the big way of getting your projects out there, just show people, hey, look at this animal I made. Look at this animal I bought. I just bought this animal. Here's how I intend to use him when he's up to size or she's up to size.
Right.
Yeah. Really, just social media in general is a big way of doing it. Getting on lives like this, which you're only going to get on lives like this if people know who you are. So you have to start on social media. You have to get in the Discords so then people start to know who you are so then people can find you.
I don't know how you do it without social media. I really don't.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. Obviously hitting the shows is one thing, but without having social media, who the fuck's going to remember you at a show? You got to have that connection where hey, I just followed you. I'll hit you up, send me pictures of those snakes or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep. Follow me on my email.
But it was crazy. It's you have to be so obsessed about this in the beginning where you're willing to go on every social media platform. I know I should be on TikTok, even though I can't, and I might regret it one day, but I'm like you, Herbert. I'm not really built for social media. Like I'd rather not. Like I dream about the CD player days. You know what I mean? Like I just rather go back to the 90s sometimes. But I know first and foremost, I have to. It's a part of my gig. It's part of my job. Like without social media, I don't get paid. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's for any brand nowadays. Like your brand's not going to be a brand without social media.
Right. It's true.
What do you think, Emilio?
I mean, social media, bro. I love social media, man. I love showing my passion, showing my animals. I fucking love it, bro. At the end of the day, I mean, I want to go back for certain things, right, to the past, but bro, I love where we're at right now, except for the vitriol, right? That I fucking hate. But I mean, I love the fact that I could go on your story and see all your chondros and see my stuff and see Herbert's Ultramels. I love social media. If you ain't doing social media, you tripping.
Yeah, but what's crazy is, dude, is like social media owns people's lives, dude. And what I mean by that, like I like the sauna, right? I try to do the sauna as much as I can, but I don't take my phone in the sauna for the most part. Well, you can put low battery mode. You could definitely do, because trust me, people are on their fucking phones. I see it. And like, I can't help it to be observed. I try to just like close my eyes, but when I open, dude, I see how fucking just zoned out people are on their phones. Like, it's crazy to me, bro. And again, I'm only on it so much because it's like my gig, but dude, I cannot wait to sign off, dude. Like, I can't wait to just fucking throw my phone. I usually just keep it in the room and I go in the living room and just shut it off a little bit because it's draining, dude. Social media is fucking draining, bro.
I need to do that myself. I need to do better with that. I need to be more present all the time. I get, you know, I get given a hard time about that. I can't remember the last time I took a shit without my phone.
Oh my God. Well, hold on. To be fair, I mean, you're not living life unless you got your phone in the shitter, dude. I mean, you gotta like.
Hey, think about it.
Yeah,
you remember how much you could think?
I had magazines though back in the day, bro. I used to have motocross magazines. Like it was almost like eating cereal, staring at the box. Which I think we should bring that back. Even though I don't eat cereal, but you guys remember back in the day growing up, you stared at the box while you're eating cereal.
Oh yeah.
You know, there was games on the back of the box, like tricks.
Some sort of maze or a crossword puzzle or something.
Boys in some of them, bro. Like, remember those days, dude? Fuck.
Yeah. Hey, we give the phones a hard time and social media a hard time, but at the end of the day, we've always had something taking our whatever the word I'm looking for right now, our attention.
Our attention.
It used to be the TV. Like when I used to eat, you know, dinner with my grandparents.
TV was on. Yeah, me too. I grew up that way too.
I mean, the news was on, right? So I mean, now we each have our own device and we can watch whatever the hell we want.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
What's crazy is like, dude, I've gone so long because I grew up with like my dad had every fucking NBA. I had every Laker game on every TV, every Raider game, every base. I grew up with sports on TV 24/7 growing up. And obviously, like cable, I don't even have cable in here no more. Like I everything's all streaming now, right? So I went a long time not having any sports shit around because I thought you needed cable for it. But then I found out about YouTube TV, and so now I got the NFL ticket, fuck YouTube TV, and I have like now I'm into my room instead of having music, I just have some sort of sports game on or something. It's fucking epic. I feel like I'm reliving like moments of me caring about sports. And mind you, I have two boys I'm gonna be raising too, so like my mind's getting back into sport mode now because like I want my kids to be fucking athletic and shit like that. But yeah, anyways, I didn't mean to go on a rant, but having your phone on the shitter is automatic. I think you need to have your phone in the shitter because it is downtime. You do think more clearly, and it's a way to kind of get the shit out. I don't fucking know. What the fuck are we
let me tell you
Trust
this,
the
bro.
science.
hey, when I'm working the rodents, that phone ain't in my hand. Period.
Oh, fuck. How can
I need to finish that shit. I need to finish and go.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, let me ask you though, Herbert, are you, because I don't see you on social media all the time. Like I really feel like you use it as needed, but you post every day or you try to post every day or not even?
No, I probably post once, maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
More if I'm hatching out really cool stuff.
Okay, can you let me know if you are vending Tinley this weekend? Are you going to be, dude? Epic! And this is your 4th year, right?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Because there was 1 year with COVID where you didn't do it, right, or something like that.
Yeah, that was before
2020.
Yeah, I think we started vending in
21, right?
21 or 22. Yeah, because I think it was a spring show. Because we used Will's table, Will from RCR. We used his table that one time, and then we got our own table after that. We subletted a table, I think, for 2 shows, and then we ended up getting that table.
American Will, man. What do you know? We got Will in America now. Is that cool or what?
I know.
Can't wait
It's going
to
to
get
be
him
great.
again. Fucking Will's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You want to talk about somebody who's been around and that has nothing but fucking wealth of knowledge? That's Will Morrows, dude. I've always respected that guy's game from the get-go. Just the way he moves, like the way he just he's less bullshit, just all work. He just shows you what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he's helped a lot of people in this hobby. But shout out to Will. But is it nerve-wracking at all now? Being this, I guess you're a veteran Tinley vendor at this point. But I mean, how do you feel going into Tinley 2025, the biggest Tinley of the year? The way the market is right now, wherever, just how it is, period. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I mean, it's your take, but how do you feel about Tinley going into it this weekend?
I'm pretty excited, actually. I've barely listed any of my 2025 animals on Morph Market this year because I specifically set up my pairings so that they would require shed testing because I'm really trying to advance some projects.
Yeah.
And so that's a blessing and a curse. My season ran a little bit later this year than typical. And because I have to shed test everything, I'm just now sending off sheds to get testing. I got, I don't know, maybe 20 or 25 back within the past couple weeks. I just sent 30 to Charlie last week, and I've already got another 15 saved up ready to go. So I'm excited because I'm going to have a lot of animals at Tinley that have never been on Morph Market, which is not usually typical of how my fall Tinleys are. Usually it's the other way around.
Wow.
So hopefully it's a pretty good turnout. I'm excited.
Let me say this, man. I was putting my pairings in this weekend, and with where the market is now and certain things being saturated, I'm going to use a lot of shed testing next year as well. I was real creative with my pairings. Some of them I'm going to depend on shed testing, and I'm going for some banger animals that, these animals that are being bred to those were for something else, to hit something simpler, right? That maybe the market needed that no longer needs, period. So that, we're on the same page, bro. It sounds like, you did it this year. I'm doing it I did some of that this year, and I'm doing a lot of it next year. So we're thinking alike. Hopefully more people are doing it.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, I'm going to bridge us into this topic here because, for instance, I think I'm looking at 2 pretty wise purchasers in the ball python game, and I think that, let's just say, for instance, what stands out the most in this topic would be lace, right? Let's say I was in search of a combo that had lace in it, right? And if somebody had a lace animal available, for me personally, I would want to test with that animal. I would want something to show, for sure there's lace in there, right? Okay, cool. Is there anything out there that you guys feel like if you were going to buy it, you want to make sure it comes with the test?
For me right now, all I could think of is lace. I think every lace animal that's being bought or sold should be tested, period.
Yeah, 100%, no matter what. Even if it's a holdback. Obviously, it's a holdback. You should. But,
period.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Herbert?
Yeah, I agree. I can't think of another shed off the top of my head. Mandarin, when that test comes out.
Yeah.
Recessives in general, I think, are good to test unless you unless you are buying them from somebody that you trust 100%, if you're dropping $1,000+ on an animal from somebody you've never bought from before, or maybe is not a established breeder in the industry, maybe it's somebody that's only been producing snakes for a couple of years, I'd shed test it.
Yeah, because okay, let's just say it is somebody that we respect and we fucking know, right? But Herbert, if you were inquiring about an ultra male lace, clown, whatever the fuck, $12,000 animal, and you were like asked exactly like, hey, can I get a test with this lace? And that person refused, are you gonna give them that money?
Oh no.
If that person refused, if that person
blocked.
If that person
if you're not willing to spend $40 on a shed test to sell me a $12,000 snake, lace isn't in it.
Huge red flag right there, you would say, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and
100%.
what about you, Emilio? Like, if you saw a combo out there that had lace in it, and the seller told you, "I'm not testing it for lace. I don't." That's your deal. Would you spend that money there?
I'm not buying it because that shit happens all the time. It happened to one of my homies, and you know what the breeder told him? Oh, I have too many snakes. I can't test.
Damn.
If for some reason it doesn't test, I'll just give a store credit. That's not good enough for me. Fuck that.
Dude,
the
what?
fuck out of here.
Store credit? I'll give you some other piece of shit. I don't know.
Get the fuck out of here. That means you have my money already on your side. You keep my money on your side. And if what I buy from you isn't what it is, because you don't want to spend $40 or whatever it is, you're gonna keep my money over there anyway. Like, bro, like, come on, man.
I just don't see any advantages of not testing for sheds. Like, that's a huge, what we just talked about right now is a huge disadvantage to anyone out there who's working a combo like lace. Like, I think there's plenty more out there. Even like yellow belly. People think they got yellow belly sometimes and they don't, or whatever. Like, there's just multiple things out there that if you are selling an animal or expecting to sell an animal in a higher markets or demographic of the market, dude, how do you survive without testing your sheds? Like, how?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, I'll tell you something that I'm doing this year. I've been hatching out some puzzle stuff this year, and this is really my first year hatching out puzzle combos other than pastel puzzles, in the past couple of years. And so what I did to help myself to identify is I'm sending their sheds off and getting every single gene that was in the pairing tested so that I can get confirmation of what every single one of those puzzles is, so that I can look at them and be able to learn how to identify the genes in them. Because I have zero experience IDing genes in puzzle. And there's not a lot out there. Some of the combos that I made, there's nothing out there to compare to. So I'm using shed testing to my advantage so that I can learn how to ID these things properly. And if I do sell some of them, I can send that with my customer and say, here, it's guaranteed to be this according to the shed testing results.
Yeah. And okay, and let's kind of get to the point where you buy the animal, you shed test it, it's not tested to what you want it to. Should that person get a refund right off the bat? Not a store credit. I'm not asking for a fuck. If you sell a snake, okay, and it's not what it came back via RGI or through Charlie, is that person entitled to a refund, not a fucking credit?
So you're saying if the customer sends off a shed test,
right? Like, let's
and
just
it comes back different than what I shed tested, or you're saying if I did shed test?
I buy the animal, not even asking for a shed test. I just buy the animal. Okay, I test it, and then the test comes back false for what I was hoping it wasn't gonna. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That person.
I guess it depends on what it is. We'll use puzzle combo. Just that's kind of what we're talking about. If it's a 5-gene puzzle combo and I say that it's got yellow belly in it and it doesn't come back as yellow belly, I'm probably not going to give you a full refund for it missing yellow belly. Chances are you didn't buy it because it had yellow belly in it. But if it's a cypress and you bought it because you're really trying to get cypress into your puzzle projects, that's going to be a different story. And then me and the customer will figure it out. Either there'll be a refund, or I'll take the snake back and send them something else. We'll figure that out. But it definitely has to be made right so that the customer feels like they won, or not won. They feel content.
But at the end of the day, when people are buying something, Like, you know, what if that person doesn't want, like, what if that person was on MORPH Market and you had it ID correctly without Yellow Belly? How do you know he was going to buy it then? Maybe he did only buy it for Yellow Belly.
Let me.
I feel like if you are putting money for something and it comes back not as is, you're entitled to a refund. I don't give a fuck what gene it is. It doesn't have that gene that I paid for. I paid for that. Like I paid for it to be this on your ad, and due to the test results, this is missing. I think you could agree on a partial refund, but if the customer's not that happy about it, if that person feels some type of way, dude, get the fuck 100%. You should get your money back.
All right, now, well, most everyone is shed testing stacked animals that have high value.
Yeah.
Okay. Before shed testing, there were terms that said they didn't guarantee every incomplete dominant in said animal. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, to protect yourself as a seller, okay, you should be testing an animal that is worth it for you to test, that is worth it, is a high value animal, to ensure you're protecting your business so this stuff won't happen. Because look, at the end of the day, I don't want to have a customer unhappy. I'm going to do my best to make that customer happy if I make a mistake. But if I make a mistake knowing that I could have shed tested, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm fucking up. Oh, also on top of that, there is also a chance that the shed test could be wrong, right? Let's say that half a percentage.
Yeah.
Right. That's something you as a business also have to incur. I mean, it's part of doing business. At the end of the day, we're doing business, and business has a cost, and not everything's gonna be fucking beautiful. You know, what do you guys say to that?
I just say if I could avoid any conversation about my brand being, well, MJ sold me this and they didn't have it in it, I don't want to be a part of any of that. That's all. If I sell you something and that gene's not in there, and I know for a fact, multiple shed tests, whatever, I'm so sorry. If you don't want the animal, I'll take it right back. That should be an option. Not like, well, okay, I'll give you $100 back because it didn't have Yellow Belly. Dude, you paid for a certain animal. And again, if the buyer wants a refund, if he's standing strong on it, then he wins. Give his fucking money back. You fucked up, and that's okay. What did we talk about earlier about fucking up? You own it.
Yeah, but that's why going forward, most everyone, including Justin, that's selling high-end animals is having them completely tested.
Tested, yeah, no questions asked.
And certified.
Right. Again, so then this goes back to like, why would you spend money to somebody who does not want to test something? You can avoid all this. You can avoid everything that we're talking about right now if you just invest in somebody who believes in shed testing.
And by the way, guys, I'm going to tell you guys this. I waited a long time. I'll use myself as an example, and MJ knows this. I waited a long time to be able to trust the Het monsoon test. I waited a long time for a monsoon test period. I was there raising the animals, you know. Guess what, man? Once the animals were tested, they sold, and they sold for a good price, a great price. I made my money. I didn't try to sell someone a Het monsoon, you know. Oh man, this one has the markers, you know. I didn't try none of that shit with none of my people. I waited, I fed the animals, I tested them, and I made my money. And I did well. You could do that. Put the time in. Test the animals. Don't try to bang people.
Put the time in. Time. Patience.
Yeah.
You know, it's always on your side, which is a lot easier said than done. Like, I get it. It's an exciting game. We want results, but just can't rush some of this shit, dude.
Yeah.
And I mean, guys, some of the animals that I thought were going to be het were not het. I mean, you can't tell someone, hey, this one's going to prove for sure. Test it, bro. Test it. Don't bang people.
I'm definitely with Brent.
I'm in that similar situation with paint stuff. I have some Ultramel stuff that I think is, well, that I hope is het paint, and I'm in that same exact situation. Some of them have markers, and so I hope that they prove, but I'm not going to sell them as hets because I see markers.
Yeah.
It's too risky.
What? Okay, let's talk about paint. Because, like, you know, first and foremost, I found out about paint through Dave Levison years ago. And then I found out one of my favorite people in the ball python game, Chad Holker, super heavily into paint. And then I started seeing some stuff from Chad with paint when I started liking, but catch us up to speed here. Where's paint at right now? Because I feel like I haven't seen what I want, what I'm looking for yet. Like, I've seen some cool potential shit, and I'm waiting to get smacked in the face by something paint. Maybe I haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's out there. And if so, inform me. Any of you guys are in the chats. But where do you think? What do you think it's gonna do? What Gene do you think is gonna do it for paint and take it to the next level? Like, if you were to predict, let me guess, Ultramel.
I think it's going to look good in Ultramel. I'm hoping that we see it this year. There's a handful of people that are in the project, so I'm hoping to see it. I think it's going to look really good. I want to see it in Puzzle. Chad Holker, he's heavily working that into Puzzle. I know Ozzy is as well, and that could be really cool. But I don't know. I honestly don't know that much about paint. It's just something that I wanted to dabble in, so I bought a couple double het males. And I've just been slowly working them into my Ultramel stuff and in my Puzzle stuff. And then we'll just see what we can get.
What about you?
That spot nose yellow belly paint clown that we highlighted a few weeks ago on the show, that thing changed my mind.
Who produced that again? Can you remind me?
MCBR. Mantooth, he brought it up. Who's the breeder that hit that? Let us know in the chat.
I thought you said we brought it up on the show or something.
We did, but I don't remember who. I remember who.
We showed it. I feel like we showed it off, didn't we?
We did.
Oh, Rec Room.
Rec
Room. All right, let me look at that again.
I don't remember which show it was. Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Remind me, Herbert, where you're taking your paint stuff. Well, like what's the direction you're headed towards it?
Both Ultramel Clown and Puzzle. Paint Puzzle.
Oh, Puzzle. Okay. Pastel at where's this snake at? I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was on Dorian's show.
Hey, somebody please in the chat send me this snake on the in DMs if you're listening. Wait, hold this thing right here. Hold on.
Yeah. Dorian could probably send it real quick.
Oh, I found it. Okay, I found it. All right, let me show this off real quick. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. I want to pick your guys' brain here. I want to. Okay, so spot nose, yellow belly, paint clown. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
It's nice.
It's pretty wild. Like, there's a lot going on with the snake.
See, that does it for me.
And no offense, this is a shitty video. Like, I'm not to take anything away from the Rec Room people, but like if Leviathan had this snake or fucking goddamn Canova, this needs good lighting, and we could really see what the fuck's going on with this snake. Unfortunately, this video is not it, but yeah, hopefully we get some better shots of this snake.
Now let's add a color, right? A color mutation that won't affect that pattern.
Which would be what?
Slap some Ultramel into that.
Ultramel, yeah. Desert Ghost is gonna affect the pattern.
Hypo's
gonna affect the pattern a bit.
Caramel.
What? Okay. Oh shit.
Herbert. But okay, what were we just talking about right now? Fuck. Oh, I gotta ask you, with hypo, are you completely staying away from hypo because how crazy you are with Ultramel, or are you working hypo at all, Herbert?
I'm not really working hypo in Ultramel, but I have a ton of hypo stuff. Hypo Clown, hypo Puzzle.
Nice.
Those are big directions that I'm going. I love hypo.
So Puzzle
was one of the first recessives that I got into.
Nice, respect. Puzzle's a pretty strong project for you, from what I'm hearing, right?
Yes, this year was huge. I made a lot of double heads puzzle stuff this year. Puzzle Ultramel. What else? Hypo Puzzle. I potentially have some triple het DG Exanthic puzzle stuff with Enchi and Calico in the mix. Made my first Exanthic puzzles this year. Made 2 of those, both females, unfortunately. Needed some males, but we'll take what we can get.
Damn. Puzzle Exantic. Did you post those? You did. Here they are.
Yeah, they're in there.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, I hit puzzle pretty hard this year, really trying to boost up that project.
Are you happy about pastel being in the mix? Because this doesn't look bad. I don't think this looks bad at all.
I love it.
Yeah, I think pastel.
I know the cool thing right now is to hate pastel, but it's amazing in puzzle. I'll take it in my puzzles every single day.
It needs it. It needs it in puzzle.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an old era of hating on pastel. Not that people are all like fucking investing and crazy into it, but it's just like you can't hate on it. Like pastel's needed. We all know that at this point. Not in everything, but in an Exantic project, I all day, every day for sure. And puzzle and pastel go really good together for sure.
100%.
Herbert, I'll tell you this, man. I got some OD and super OD double head ultra puzzle stuff. I wish I had some pastel in there too, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up, I'm telling you, straight up. I love pastel and ultra.
It looks good.
And an Exantic. So
yeah, like I'll take both. I'll take some Ultramel stuff without pastel, and then I'll take some with. Use them differently.
But me and MJ were at Josh's table in Daytona last year, not this one, the prior year. And bro, we have both of them here in our hands. I'm sorry, but the pastel one, the pattern was fucking insane, bro. There's no way around it. I mean, I think it's a must. I'm gonna have to get it in there.
Definitely. I think it depends what genes you put in there too. Time will tell. We haven't seen anything with Ultra Puzzle yet, really. But maybe Blackhead Ultra Puzzle doesn't look good with pastel.
Yeah.
Maybe it does. It's all part of the game.
What's your take on Sunset?
On what?
What's your take on Sunset? You work it in or no?
So I have mostly sold all of my Sunset stuff. I've been working with Sunset since 2019. Finally hit a Sunset Clown this year for the first time. And that was with a breeder loan with a buddy. So that's going. He got that. But I kept back a male Sunset Het Clown, and that's going to be going to Ultramel stuff. That's the only thing that I want Sunset in is my Ultramel project. This coming season, I have a shot at Sunset Ultramel Clowns. I've got a male triple het that is going to a Red Stripe Mojave Krypton double het Ultramel Sunset. So, fingers crossed. It's long odds, but we'll see. I'll even take the Krypton versus the clown. I'll take either.
Sunset should be kissing Ultramel's feet right now for sure.
I agree.
Yeah. Ultramel's been the Sunset savior. Which would, for now, I'm sure there's gonna be other stuff that helps Sunset, but finally, I feel like anytime I see an Ultramel Sunset, I'm happy with it for sure. I'm happy for that person too.
Another moment. Hey, you weren't really mad when that Sunset Clown left, huh?
I don't know.
I love you guys. I love you. I'm sorry.
She's kind of pretty. She's still here. She's going with me to Tinley.
No, dude. Any double recessive it's cool to hit. Not easy to hit, but it's like, god damn, bro. It's like, all right, that's cool. See you later.
I mean, keeping it 100. Hey, even the Sunset lovers, they don't get mad when we attack Sunset Clown. So
first Sunset Clown ever sold was $60K, bro.
Yeah,
crazy.
Many of them.
and that person made that money back quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
So, all right, wrap up topic of the episode. I'll go first, and then Big E will.
Hey, one more thing. Sorry. The first animal stolen at your homie's table was a Sunset Clown. All right, so
historical,
damn, bro. That's an amazing distinction right there. I had to. Sorry, I had to.
And what's funny too? I was remember we vlogged at Josh's table, and you had the keys, and you're like, "I'm gonna open this animal, but I'm not gonna steal it."
No klepto.
No klepto. Oh shit! All right, Herbert. It's pretty straightforward, bro. Obviously, throughout the fucking 5-6 years of you being a brand in this hobby, if you were to start over, would you do anything differently? And what would be advice for anyone starting today? Like, what would you?
Oh yeah, I would do a lot of things differently. finding a good mentor from the beginning is key to doing this industry right. When you're left to yourself, you're just going to make bad choices. You know, you're going to get into every single project that there is because every project is cool in its own right. And that's what I did when I first got in. You know, I dabbled in a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, I made all the typical mistakes, you know, that everybody makes. You know, way too many males, not enough females. A lot of one-to-one pairings. You know, I have to breed this male to this female, and that's the only female that he can go to because he's the only one in this project, and she's the only one in that project. You know, those are things that are very easy to make the mistake in doing, but also very easy to get advice to not do. And MJ left. He abandoned us.
I'm writing down my question, bro. I can't even help right now.
Well, you know, it was supposed to be Emilio asks us his fucking question, but apparently there's silence, and yeah, that's awkward. Emilio, what do you do? Ask your question.
You asked your question, and then you abandoned us. We didn't know what to do.
I gotta let somebody in the house, dude. What the fuck?
All right. So what's gonna look better, bro? Just a guess. You know, an educated guess because you're really good at with the Ultramall game, right? What's gonna look better, a Stranger Ultra Sunset Clown or a Cypress Ultra Sunset Clown?
Cypress.
Okay.
Both are going to look good, but the Cypress is going to look better.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it? That was your wrap-up topic? God damn.
Yeah, man. Just simple. Nice and simple.
All right. Well, fucking A, Herbert. I got some hot seat questions for you, round 2, before we let you go. So, yeah, shout out to everyone in the chats, guys. Let's get the likes up. We'll get the hot seat questions on the way for Herbert. And then, yeah, we'll call it a fucking day or night. And then I'll see you at Tinley this weekend. So, all right, here we go. You ready, Herbert? Hot seat questions.
Ready. All right.
Least favorite incomplete dominant. You can't say spider or albino.
Bamboo.
If you were to start from scratch, what would be the first morph you would buy?
Cypress.
Favorite super incomplete dominant.
Super Hurricane.
One thing you would not put into Ultramel.
Mojave.
What's one thing somebody should consider before spending $1,000+ in the hobby?
It's one thing they should consider.
Yeah, first thing to consider before dropping big money in the hobby.
Who they're buying it from.
Freedom Breeder or ARS?
Both.
Again, Freedom Breeder or ARS? You got to pick.
I have both. Freedom Breeder.
All right, last but not least, coolest reptile network in the world.
Man, I want to be so mean.
Go ahead, dude. Do it, dude. I fucking dare you, Herbert. Be mean, bro. Bring it on.
Can I say Reptiles Unplugged?
Oh, why would you say that, dude? What the fuck?
Oh, come on.
Why would you say that?
Scrap Talk Podcast.
All day, every day. Yeah, bro. I would say when they first came out, maybe.
I don't like being put in a corner.
That podcast fucking tanked. Holy shit. Talk about rock bottom. All right, go ahead, Biggie.
All right, bro. You know what's up. You know what's coming. So at the end of the day, you know.
I've been dreading your questions.
Yes. Let's go. All right. So I'm going to give you 6 options. You're going to pick 3. Okay. These are animals that you can't be without, you know, in your collection. All right. Ultra, Clown, Puzzle, Hypo, DG, and Exanthic. Pick 3.
Ultramel, Clown, and Puzzle.
All right. Now drop one.
Oh. Clown.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you three amazing combos, and you're going to pick 2. DG Pompeii, Confusion Spot Nose Yellow Belly, DG Exanthic Clown, Super Chocolate, DG Hypo Clown. Pick 2.
The third one and the first one.
Okay. Now pick 1.
first one.
Okay. Yeah, the animal's amazing. All right. Incomplete dominance. You got 6. Blackhead, Red Stripe, Cypress, Hurricane, Stranger, and Redhead. Pick 3.
Stranger, Cypress, and Hurricane.
Drop 1.
Stranger.
Damn. 16K, bro. Fuck that 16K.
He made that money.
I already got my money
Right.
back. I don't give a fuck.
All right. Last one. Ultra Sunset, Ultra Puzzle, Ultra Stranger Clown, Ultra Monsoon. Pick 2.
What were the first few again?
Ultra Sunset, Ultra Puzzle, Ultra Stranger Clown, Ultra Monsoon. Pick 2.
Ultra Sunset and Stranger Ultra Clown.
Wow.
Pick 1.
Oof. That's tough.
This really teaches people, bro.
Yeah. I have to go Stranger Ultra Clown.
Damn.
Yeah. Might be more of maybe a longer project. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. We didn't talk about any of my Ultramel Clown stuff tonight.
Well, fucking say something, Herbert. What you want to talk about? Go ahead. I'll give it to you right now. What do you want to talk about?
I just want to talk about my Ultramel Clown project. That's like 50% of my whole collection. Really excited for this next season. Since I got those original animals from Marshall, I have been heavily focusing on getting good genes into the Ultramel Clown project. And this next year, depending on how I choose to pair, I should have anywhere from 10 to 12 shots at Ultramel Clowns. And we could hit all sorts of crazy things. Blackhead Stranger, Ultramel Clowns.
Wow.
Blackhead Hurricane, Ultramel Clowns. I don't even know. Lots of stuff. Lots of Ultramel Clown combos.
I
Hopefully
love
a lot of world's first stuff.
I love Blackhead and Ultramel, dude. And
Me
I
too.
don't think I've seen Blackhead and Ultramel Clown combos yet.
Couple people have hit the Blackhead Ultramel Clown. Portuguese Pythons did.
Yes, okay,
My buddy Kevin from K&L Constrictors, I think is his business name.
K&L, you
He
said
hit one this year.
what was it? K&L, you said?
K&L. He would be a good one to have on. He's working the Ultramel Clown stuff pretty heavy too.
He's in the chat right now.
Yeah, I will say Ultramel Clown shit is like, I can't wait to see more of that stuff for sure. I'm gonna be all over your bumper this coming season to see what happens. And yeah, can't wait to have you back, Herbert. I will say, man, you've definitely been fucking down for trap since day one. Even when I was going through the thick of shit, I could always count on you, bro. So I want to say thank you so much for your support. And also you support real shit in this hobby. Like, you know, we were talking about Will Moros and the other people that you support, man. So like, we need more Herberts in the hobby, bro, for sure. And I give you all my respects in the world, dude. I feel like you're going to be doing some major things here real soon, dude. So always a pleasure.
You got a homie here now, dog. So know that.
Yep.
We're official now. We're friends on Instagram.
HB Reptiles on IG. That's the best place for people to follow you.
Yes. I'm on Facebook. Facebook too. You send me a friend request, I'll most likely accept it, but I really don't do anything on Facebook.
You're going to be at the same spot as always at Tinley, that right there towards the left of the show, right there.
Yep. Right next to VipTech and Next Level Displays.
Yeah, guys. So if you're going to be at Tinley this weekend, please make it a point to go by Herbert's table, HB Reptiles. Definitely fucking somebody who you should give your time of day to, because he got some amazing work. So check him out. Find the link in the description below. But give it up. It's a wrap for Herbert, HB Reptiles. See you this weekend, buddy. Have a good night, Herbert.
You too, man. Appreciate it.
I'll see you
Talk
this
to you
weekend.
later, guys.
See you this weekend, all right? Later.
All right. See ya.
What a guy. Shout out to Herbert.
Integrity.
Definitely got me on that last hot seat question, fucker. But, you know, it's my boy, bro. What are you going to do? And looking forward to Tinley again. Looking forward to seeing what he has set up. And, but, yeah, what are your overall thoughts on tonight, Biggie?
The guy's great, man. I love, you know, how ethical the guy is, and I'm gonna get to know him better now. I got amazing stuff coming.
Yeah,
those are the type of people I like, bro.
Yeah, and I feel like if you want to get excited about Ultramel, you should go follow HB Reptiles.
Sure. For sure.
He's definitely fucking hyping that shit as much as it deserves to be hyped. And I'm really, it's crazy. Because I did forget about how much he's in the thick of Ultramel Clown stuff. But also gives me a better reason to invite him back once he starts producing all this shit. Then we can really dive in and look at it, Because I want to see a Blackhead Stranger Ultramel Clown for sure. I would love to see that.
We ain't messing around, bro, with these recaps and with who we're bringing on.
No, man. It's all influential, bro. All motivating. Cannot wait. So, and yeah, hey, real quick, if you are working with some sick shit and you think you deserve to be on a Monday night, please hit up me or Emilio or anyone who knows us. All right, we are seeking for talent right now. But yeah, appreciate it. Big E Top G, Villarino Reptiles. Highly recommend subscribing on Instagram, or just if you really want to take shit serious, dude, go join this man's Patreon for sure. All right. But thank you so much. Give it up. It's a wrap for Big E Top G, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, guys. Good night, bro.
All right, man. Have a good night. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. All right, great episode, guys. Appreciate all the love and support, man. And again, if you are going to NARBC Tinley, let me know, dude. Let's link up. This will be one of the last Tinleys I go to for a long time. I got my second baby on the way here shortly right after Tinley. So no traveling for MJ as far as to any shows for a while. So if you are going to NARBC Tinley, let me know. I'd like to link up with you if we haven't met yet. And again, go check out HB Reptiles at Tinley this weekend as well. But yeah, that's it, man. Call tonight. Looking forward to getting ready for Tinley this week. It's going to be big. Shout out to all the sponsors. Find all my sponsors links in the description below. And if this was your first time watching, if you enjoyed tonight's episode, before you leave, please hit that like button for the homie Herbert. If you really rocked with this episode tonight, hit that like button. Let's get the lights up. And if you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, you'll be reminded of every episode released out of the network 7 days a week, especially these Monday nights. New Breed on the Block, the recaps. Amazing. Next level. All right. So appreciate all the love and support, man. Again, you guys are awesome. Check out my sponsors. Have a good night. See you here tomorrow for All on the Tree Tuesdays, and I'm out. Cheers. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Devin.
I'm Teresa, and we are Pragmores. We are based in Czech Republic, a small country in the middle of Europe.
We really love animals that revolve around multi-recessive projects, and one of our very favorites is Hypo. We're really looking forward to clutches that are coming this season, and some of those are Hypo Clown, DG Clown, Hypo DG Clown, and one of our all-time favorites, Hypo Puzzle.
Hope you enjoyed the next episode on Trap Talk, the greatest reptile network in the world.
If you guys want to see next level cutting edge ball python projects, please make sure you head over to their Instagram to follow all their amazing work, and head over to their website to see what they could possibly have available by heading over to progmorphs.com. Thank you again, Devin and Teresa, for bringing some of the biggest heat worldwide in the ball python game. If you want to be organized, if you want to be cutting edge in the ball python game, then you don't want to miss this. Shout out to today's sponsor, and that's Clutch, #1 ball python organization app in the game. No better place to start off than by using this app. Clutch is an organization app that helps you organize all your ball python projects. It also helps your peers and your fellow community members look at what you possibly have coming for the upcoming ball python season, what you have currently available on MORPH Market. It's so awesome to be ahead of the game by using organization app like Clutch. Thank you so much, the entire Clutch team, amazing team over at Clutch. If I were you, I would head over to Clutch's Instagram account, and I would also head over to their website, try it out, see how it works for you. But especially if you're just now coming into this, before you build your reptile collection, I would do it organized, and I would do it with Clutch. Thank you, Clutch, for being so amazing. Excited to hear what Clutch has to bring in the near future. Cheers.